Welcome to this class. Unit 4 starts off full-fledged today because Unit 4 is primarily about your reflection on your journey as a writer throughout this class. We look at some of the tangible learnings we've had as a class together over the course of the college writing program, and all of that would lead up to your Unit 4 essay. So this graph I've created this graph with the help of the Academic Research Center at UMass, where we record the class growth in terms of the depth of analysis, stylistics and structure, and connectivity, being able to form connections intrinsically and extrinsically. So what do these parameters mean? When I say depth of analysis, it means your ability to not only analyze a given issue but also analyze an overall body of issues within the context of a broader topic you're writing about. So if you're talking about women's rights in the carpet sector, not only do we look at your overall analysis of the topic, but also about how you've presented a few of your supporting arguments, how you've performed analysis on them. So both at a micro and a macro level. Stylistics and structure refer to the way you've used language, and structure would be the manner in which you've arranged your paragraphs. Have you innovated, tried something new, used photographs, things like that. And finally, connectivity, intrinsic and extrinsic is, when I say intrinsic connectivity, it is the way you've connected one point to the next. Why have you organized what is the logic you followed in forming and connecting one point to another? If you're putting 4 arguments in support of a point you're trying to make, then why did you organize them as 1, 2, 3, 4? Is that the best possible organization? So that's intrinsic connectivity. And extrinsic connectivity would mean how well you've connected your topic that you're writing about to your reader, to yourself as a writer, because these are the two extrinsic dependencies. So as a reader, am I able to connect your essay? And as a reader, am I able to see your presence as a writer strongly in the essay? Those are the 2 factors we looked at. So once we've said, okay, these are the 3 factors that are what you should really learn and take away from this class, we divided the class of 10 into 3 grades. And the gradation of grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 writers is also done on the first draft of your first essay. We looked at how good your analysis was, how was the stylistics and structure and connectivity. So without any inputs from this class, your first draft, how did you measure on these 3 factors? So based on that, grade 1 is the highest grade of writers, like the absolutely almost perfect band of writers. That was just one person. A majority of you were in grade 2, which is you were already strong writers, but there was still a lot of room for improvement, and 2 of you were in grade 3, where significant improvement was required in your writing. So now if you look at those graphs, the corresponding graph, so if grade 1 started off at a score of 45, the writer went on to score a 68 in the unit 2, and by the final draft of the unit 3, they scored a 74. If you look at grade 3 writers, grade 2 writers, sorry, they started off lower than the grade 1 writer. They started off with 31. As of unit 2, they were still below the grade 1 writer. They were at 61. By the time they reached the unit 3, they reached up to a perfect 81. And I say perfect 81 because it's a very high end of the score for an academic piece of writing. So that's a huge improvement, almost like a 50-point improvement throughout your class. So you might not realize this as you are finishing one assignment after the other, as you're finishing reading essays or doing class discussions, giving peer response, working through your various drafts. You might not realize it, but steadily, incrementally, your writing has improved. That's an 116% improvement, so very, very well done. Okay, so the Academic Research Lab at UMass, they're the ones who helped me come up with this. Now let us look at the learning journey, college writing beyond the classroom. So where are the different places where you can apply this learning? So we look at all the activities we've done and what are the specific applications of those activities. One is articulating analysis. So when you've done analysis in all your 3 essays, right? So the three degrees to which you've done. One is personal. Personal analysis is what you've done in your Unit 1 essay. So taking a specific personality trait or a specific event in your life and analyzing that. You've also analyzed a single text, which was a Unit 2. You've also compared multiple texts, bringing them together based on a specific topic. So you brought all these different texts around a central topic, which was a Unit 3. So, I mean, culture is an example of a topic that could be part of your Unit 3. So these are 3 degrees of analysis you've done. So applications would be business and medical schools, because you would do a similar level of analysis. You would do case studies, even if you're not taking a business schools, even if you're not studying with a B school. Any subject you're taking which requires a specific case study, that requires you to look at and analyze a specific situation, like in medical schools, the level of analysis you perform is very similar to the level of analysis you've performed across these 3 units. And again, the Academic Research Center has helped us quantify this learning and say it is at par with what is taught there. So you're ready to go and apply in these schools or work in these kind of industries. Being able to step back and analyze your writing, almost if you look at the list of the top 50 best places to work, it's something that is used in almost 40% of all these interviews. So your final draft, you revise your own draft based on feedback. So that's a skill that's useful, because what most of these companies do is they get you to write an essay or respond to a question in your first round. In your second round, they give you your response and say, well, now that you've had some distance, if you had to critique this essay, how would you go about doing it? So that's a skill you can carry on from here. Keeping your audience or your readers in mind. Any industry, if you have to customize data presentation, this is a skill that will be very useful. I'd like to quote from an example from my own workplace. I had to create this presentation in terms of how my team was performing. So when I presented it to my team, it was close to 9 slides, because we went into a lot of minute detail, because I said, here's what we were good at, here's where we need to improve, things like that. I then had to present it in my own management group to my peers, and because every manager presents in the same presentation, just to see how each manager is performing, I had to bring it down from 7 slides to 3 slides. And finally, when the vice president vice president of our unit was visiting us, each team had to present their achievements or the performance across the quarter, and I reduced the same presentation to a single slide. So it went from being 7 slides to 3 slides to a single slide. So that is something where, based on my audience, based on knowing what it is that they would like to see, what would they find useful, I could customize my presentation. Peer response. Almost any organization you join today has a 360-degree feedback, wherein you give feedback to those who are reporting to you, to your peers, and to those you are reporting to. So that's a model that's very useful. So you should know how to effectively and constructively provide feedback. Looking at multiple skills, again, building business and economic arguments, knowing the MLA format. Most academic papers, if you intend studying hereafter, will use the MLA format. And if you want to build a business case, if you want to float a new project and you require funding for that, all of these skills will require you to look at multiple resources and present your case to the management. So this is a skill that you'll find useful. Team level communication. Almost most organizations today, again, I've looked at organizations in the top 50 best places to work. 25% of your growth and promotion depend on effective team level communication. And the presentation skills, when I say presentation, not necessarily talking to your class, but being able to polish what you're presenting in a written form or in a verbal form. So that could include the way you presented your discussions, the way you presented your final draft of your essay, sometimes collaborating and presenting a common response across 2 people. So tailoring your response to a specific text, which is what we did in Unit 2. Academic papers across any subjects. If you're putting together an academic paper in any field, if you intend studying further, then the skill you will need to customize your paper based on the subject or based on the text you're reading. So this is a skill you can use there. Understanding context based on writing to a specific situation based on the factors or the parameters provided to you. So if your context is an academic audience, then you write specifically to that audience. So corporate communication and academic papers both require you to perform this kind of understand and implicitly perform, have a context and do your writing based on this context. We've responded to videos. We will be responding to a music video in our next class, but you have responded to video and images so far. So most organizations today are global, and you'll have people spread across different parts of the globe. So as research has shown that people who know how to respond to videos are very good at responding to somebody who they will only watch through a video. So a lot of times your colleagues, you will not know them personally, you'll only know them through a video conference, through looking at them on a VC system. So these skills implicitly help you respond better to people you are video conferencing with. If you've innovated, some of you did, and I think have created some very, very nice, unique Unit 2 and Unit 3 specifically, I've seen a lot of innovation happen in terms of how you presented your paper. So it'll help you in business communication, and if you're writing to magazines and journals, I know I have encouraged some of you to submit your Unit 1 or Unit 2 papers to academic or popular journals. So innovation is always welcome in when you want your writing published externally. So when I talk about tenor of writing, what kind of word choice, your language, sentence length, varying your sentence length and transitions in particular. Any entrance tests you want to write, where you want to apply, where you need to write a piece, put in a piece of writing, GRE or any other entrance test, or even if you're writing, responding to a question or writing an essay in interviews, this skill is very useful. Okay, so that's a lot of learning. I'm going to be uploading this PowerPoint in the class, so I would strongly encourage you to go over these 2 slides and look at each learning in detail, and see how this is specifically how you have specifically applied this learning in your own life or in your own writing context. What are the skills that you will find the most useful going forward? Do that, keep that in mind before you attempt your Unit 4 essay. So I'll be uploading the prompt today.